Have you ever taken a big bite out of a fresh, juicy fruit, maybe a banana or a slice of watermelon, and thought to yourself, now this is healthy living, only to feel strange not long after? Maybe you got dizzy or bloated or just didn't feel quite right. Now, what if I told you that very fruit, something the world has praised as nature's candy, might actually be quietly harming your body, especially your aging body? I know it sounds odd. Fruits are supposed to be good for us, right? Full of vitamins, fiber, hydration. That's what we've always been told. You grow up believing the more fruit, the better. But here's the thing. Your body today isn't the same body you had at 30 or even 50. As we age, our internal systems change. Digestion slows down, medications increase, sensitivities rise, and some fruits that used to be harmless or even helpful can now backfire. This is something no one really talks about. Not your doctor, not the magazines, not even most health shows, but it's happening to seniors every single day. One simple fruit choice, and suddenly your blood pressure is out of whack. Your blood sugar spikes, your stomach's in nuts, and you're left wondering what just happened. That's why this video might be one of the most important ones you'll ever watch, because today we're going to uncover 5 common fruits you likely have in your kitchen right now that could be working against your health, not for it. Fruits that can interfere with your medications, that strain your kidneys or wreak havoc on your blood sugar. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to look out for, why these fruits are risky, and most importantly, how you can make smarter, safer choices to protect your well-being and support your longevity. Because when you eat right for your age, you don't just live longer, you live better. So if you're someone who wants to stay sharp, feel energized, and enjoy your golden years without hidden setbacks, this video is for you. And before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and write, I'm here. If you're ready to learn how to protect your health one bite at a time, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Insight, because here it's not just about aging, it's about aging wisely. Let's get into it. Let's start with fruit number 1, grapefruit. Now I want you to imagine, Evelyn, she's 72, full of life, and has always believed in keeping her morning routine simple: a glass of grapefruit juice, a light breakfast, and her regular medications. She'd done it that way for years. But one morning, Evelyn felt faint, dizzy, her heartbeat raced. She could barely stand. Her daughter rushed her to the emergency room, and what the doctors told her left her stunned. It wasn't a stroke, it wasn't her medication, it was the grapefruit juice, you see. Grapefruit has this sneaky way of interfering with how your liver processes medication. There's an enzyme in your liver called CYP3A4 that helps break down many medications so they work properly in your system. But grapefruit juice can block this enzyme, and suddenly that heart medication you took, it builds up to dangerous levels in your bloodstream. It's like taking double or triple your normal dose without even knowing it. This isn't rare. It's a well-accumulated interaction that affects over 85 common medications, especially for blood, pressure, cholesterol, anxiety, depression, even immune suppression. And here's the problem. Most seniors don't know they keep drinking that juice because it's healthy after all. It's packed with vitamin C, right? And yes, it is. But here's the truth. What's good for a young body isn't always good for an aging one. Grapefruit might look fresh and innocent, but for someone, managing medications, it can quietly become toxic. So what can you do instead? Talk to your doctor or pharmacist if you're on any regular medications, especially statins, blood pressure pills, or antidepressants. Ask specifically about grapefruit, and if you're told to avoid it, swap it out. Low acid, oranges, blueberries, or even kiwis can give you the same fresh boost without the risk. And remember, the danger isn't in the fruit itself, it's in the interaction. And when you're in your golden years, that one little difference can change everything. And speaking of sweetness, with hidden risks, our next fruit might surprise you even more. It's soft, it's comforting, and it's probably sitting on your kitchen counter, right? Now, fruit number 2, bananas. George was 68. He'd always tried to stay on top of his health, took daily walks, watched his salt, and every morning without failing, he'd peel a banana and eat it with breakfast. It's heart healthy, he told himself. Natural, full of potassium, good for the ticker. But over time, George began to feel off. His ankles started swelling. His heart felt heavy. He was tired in a way he couldn't explain. And when his doctor ran some routine blood work, the truth came out. His potassium levels were way too high. His kidneys weren't filtering it out properly anymore. And that healthy banana a day, it was pushing his body closer to danger than he ever imagined. You see, bananas are nutritious, but they're also very high in potassium. And while potassium is essential, it helps with nerve signals, muscle function, and heart rhythm. It becomes a serious problem when your kidneys can't handle the load. And guess what? Kidney function naturally declines with age. Even if you feel okay, your body may not be managing potassium as well as it used to now. Here's what most people miss. They hear potassium and think it's always a good thing. Bananas get marketed as the perfect snack athletes eat. Then kids eat them, and for younger folks with healthy kidneys, they're fine. But for seniors with high blood pressure, heart disease, or chronic kidney disease, even just borderline too much potassium can build up fast and cause heart palpitations, muscle weakness, or even sudden cardiac arrest in extreme cases. I know that sounds scary, but knowledge is power. If you're on certain medications, like ACE inhibitors, potassium-sparing diuretics, or treatments for heart failure, you're even more at risk of elevated potassium levels. That banana might be tipping the scale. So what's the better option? You don't need to give up fruit entirely. You just need to choose lower potassium alternatives. Try apples, grapes, berries, or even canned pears in natural juice. And if you're really craving that banana taste, have half a banana instead of a whole one and space it out throughout the week. Always talk to your healthcare provider about your potassium levels, especially if you're noticing swelling, weakness, or irregular heartbeat. The key is balance, not fear, just awareness. But not all fruit dangers are about minerals like potassium some fruits carry. There are risks in the form of something much sweeter and sneakier. Let's talk about a summertime favorite. A fruit that's refreshing, juicy, and surprisingly risky for seniors with blood sugar concerns. Now, let's cool off with fruit number 3, watermelon. Or, at least, that's what Linda, age 75, thought she was doing. It was one of those warm, sticky summer afternoons, the kind where the heat clings to your skin, and even a breeze feels like a blessing. Linda walked into her kitchen, sliced herself a big wedge of cold, juicy watermelon, and took that first crisp bite. It was refreshing, sweet, hydrating, satisfying, but a little while later, she didn't feel so great. She felt tired, a little shaky. Her mind felt foggy. She chalked it up to the heat at first, but her blood sugar monitor told a different story. It had spiked, and that sweet, watery slice, it was the culprit. See, here's what's easy to forget about watermelon. Yes, it's mostly water, and yes, it's low in calories, but it also has a very high glycemic index, which means it enters your bloodstream fast and pushes up your blood sugar quickly. Now, if you're young, active, and your body's insulin response is strong, that spike gets corrected pretty fast. But if you're a senior, and especially if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, which many older adults are even unknowingly, that sharp sugar rise can leave you drained, dizzy, and at risk for bigger complications down the line. And here's the twist. Watermelon doesn't even taste that sweet compared to, say, a donut or a slice of cake. So people tend to eat a lot of it in one sitting, thinking they're making a healthy choice. You might hear folks say, "Isn't it just water?" Yes, it is about 90% water, but it's also packed with natural sugars, and with no fiber or protein to slow it down. That sugar rush hits your bloodstream like a wave. So how do we enjoy watermelon without putting our health at risk? Here's the simple strategy portion. Control. Have a small slice, no bigger than a cup of cubed pieces, and, better yet, pair it with a handful of nuts or a small serving of plain Greek yogurt. Why? Because protein and fat help slow the absorption of sugar and keep your blood sugar more stable. Or consider switching it out now and then for berries like strawberries or raspberries. They have a lower glycemic index, are packed with antioxidants, and are far gentler on your system. Remember, the goal isn't to cut out joy or flavor, it's to make choices that honor the way your body works. Now, not how it used to, but not all fruit dangers are tied to sugar or potassium. Some hide in the way the fruit is processed or how it lingers on your shelf. Let's talk about dried fruits. They look small and harmless, but they can pack a surprising punch, especially for aging digestion. Fruit number 4. Dried fruits like raisins, dates, and figs. John was 74, and after a dental procedure, he found chewing fresh apples and pears too difficult, so he made a simple swap. He started snacking on dried fruits instead, a few raisins here, a couple of dates there. They were soft, sweet, and didn't hurt his gums. It's still fruit, he thought, better than cookies. Right, but soon, John started feeling bloated, sluggish. His stomach cramped often, and his blood sugar readings crept higher and higher. He couldn't figure it out. He was trying to eat healthy, but his body was sending him warning signs, and those innocent. Little dried fruits were the trigger. Here's the truth: dried fruits are just fresh fruits condensed. When you remove the water, what's left is a tiny, chewy packet of concentrated sugar and fiber. That means just a small handful of raisins is the sugar equivalent of a full bunch of grapes, 1 or 2 dates. That's like eating 3 to 4 fresh fruits in one go. Without even realizing it now, for someone younger and more metabolically flexible, that spike might level out. But for seniors especially, those dealing with diabetes, prediabetes, or slower digestion, that quick sugar surge can wreak havoc. It leads to fatigue, irritability, and even long-term complications if it happens too often. And that's not all. Dried fruits are also high in fiber, which normally is a good thing, but for older adults with slower gut motility or chronic constipation, it can cause bloating, cramping, and gas when eaten in excess. And here's a detail most people miss: many store-bought dried fruits are treated with sulfites, a type of preservative that helps them look fresh and glossy. But for sensitive individuals, sulfites can trigger headaches, allergic reactions, and digestive upset, especially in older adults. So, what's the smart move? You don't have to cut them out completely. Just be mindful. Stick to no more than 2 tablespoons of dried fruit at a time, roughly the size of a golf ball. And when shopping, look for unsweetened, unsulfured varieties. Even better, mix them with a handful of nuts. Too slow down sugar absorption and reduce blood sugar spikes. The goal isn't fear, it's awareness, because even healthy choices need adjusting with age. And now we come to the final fruit on our list, one that seems tropical, gentle, and digestion friendly. But depending on how ripe or unripe it is, it can wreak absolute havoc on your stomach. Fruit number 5. Papaya. Gentle, tropical, often praised for its ability to soothe the stomach and aid digestion, and for many seniors, feels like a safe, soft choice. Mabel, 76, had always believed in the healing power of papaya after meals. She'd slice a piece, scoop it out with a spoon, and enjoy its creamy texture. She loved how it seemed to help her digestion, especially on days when her gut felt sluggish. But one afternoon, she tried a papaya that wasn't quite ripe. It looked okay from the outside, but the inside was pale, firm, and slightly bitter within hours. Mabel felt a deep cramping in her belly. Not just discomfort, pain. Her stomach was gassy tight and unsettled for the rest of the day. You see, while papaya can be a helpful digestive aid, it must be eaten at the right stage. Not too soon, not too late. Let me explain why unripe papaya, especially the green variety, contains latex, a sticky, milky substance that when ingested can irritate the stomach lining. In some cases, it may even trigger uterine contractions, which is why pregnant women are advised to avoid it entirely. For seniors with sensitive stomachs or acid reflux, that latex can lead to bloating, cramps, or an upset stomach that lasts hours on the other end of the spectrum, overripe. Papaya becomes mushy and starts to ferment, especially when stored improperly or left too long. At room temperature, this fermentation process creates gases, and when eaten, they can lead to excessive bloating, belching, and digestive discomfort. Not exactly what you're hoping for from a fruit meant to help digestion. And yet, the misconception persists. People say, "Isn't papaya great for digestion?" And it is, but only when it's ripe, fresh, and eaten in moderation. So, what should you look for ripe? Papaya has a rich orange flesh, not pale, not greenish. It should give slightly when pressed, but not feel squishy or smell overly sweet, which could mean it's fermenting. When cut open, avoid any signs of excessive mush, fizzing, or a sour odor. That's a clear red flag. One more tip: papaya works best in small portions. Few slices after a meal is plenty. Don't overdo it. Thinking more will help more. Too much of anything, even something good, can turn problematic, especially as our bodies age and change. So what do all these fruits have in common? Grapefruit, bananas, watermelon, dried fruits, and papaya. On the surface, they seem harmless, even healthy. But when you look a little deeper, they share one powerful lesson. They require caution, not fear, and that brings us to something more personal, something that goes beyond food. 'Cause these fruit choices are about more than just what's on your plate. They're about how you care for your aging body with awareness, wisdom, and love. It's strange, isn't it? The very foods we grew up with, the ones our parents said were good for us, the ones we packed in lunchboxes and shared at family picnics, now carry risks we never imagined. It almost feels unfair, like something you trusted has quietly turned its back on you. And yet, this is part of the journey of aging. Aging doesn't mean weakness. It means change. And with change comes the chance to do things differently and better. See, this isn't about giving things up. It's not about saying no to every bite of fruit. It's about saying yes to the wisdom your body has earned, yes to honoring your health, yes to staying sharp, strong, and steady for yourself. And for those who love you, because when you learn which foods help and which might hurt you, take back control. You stop guessing, stop hoping, So I want you to do something simple today. Just one small thing. Take a peek into your kitchen. Open the fruit drawer in your fridge. Check the bananas on your counter. Look at those dried raisins in your cupboard. And then ask yourself, are these serving me? Or could they be silently making things harder? If you take medications, call your doctor. And ask about grapefruit if you have diabetes or kidney concerns. Think twice about bananas and watermelon. If your stomach's been upset more than usual, maybe that papaya or those dried fruits are part of the picture. It's not about fear. It's about paying attention, because sometimes health is found in the little choices, the quiet moments of awareness. And here's the good news. You don't have to give up fruit. Not at all. You just need to choose the right ones in the right amounts at the right time. That's how you support digestion. That's how you balance blood sugar. That's how you protect your heart, kidneys, and long-term wellness. So don't be discouraged. Be encouraged, because now you have the knowledge, and knowledge is a kind of love. Love for yourself and for the years still ahead of you. Let's quickly recap what we've learned today so it really sticks. The 5 fruit seniors need to be cautious with are grapefruit, which can dangerously interact with medications; bananas, which can raise potassium to unsafe levels in those with kidney or heart issues; watermelon, which may spike blood sugar in people with diabetes or insulin sensitivity; dried fruits, which are deceptively sugary and often hard on aging, digestion, and unripe; or overripe papaya, which can cause stomach issues or even toxic effects if not eaten at the right stage. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever had an odd reaction to one of these fruits? Or is there a fruit that just doesn't sit well with your body anymore, one that you used to love but now avoid? Share your story in the comments. Not only will I read it, but others might learn from your experience. This channel is a community. It's not just a voice on the screen. And if today's video helped you understand something new or confirm something you've been wondering about, give it a like and hit that subscribe button for more videos. Just like this one here at Elderly Wisdom Insight, we don't just talk about health, we talk about your health, your experiences, your needs, and your goals. Because growing older should never mean growing powerless. It means growing wiser. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Stay mindful, stay nourished, and above all, always remember, your health is your legacy. Take care of it, take care of you, and I'll see you in the next video.